There are more slaves today than at any time in history. Less than 1 in 100 victims of human trafficking will ever escape. God is calling us to break the chains of modern-day slavery and set captives free. Child Impact launched Operation Child Rescue 10 years ago with a project in India to combat the evils of human trafficking. From that first project, Child Impact now has 30 projects in 16 countries and growing. Hundreds of children have been set free and now have hope for a bright future. When a child is rescued, our work has just begun. We must provide a safe place, nutritious meals, and a loving team to nurture their healing journey. We would like to invite you to partner with us as part of the Rescue Party. Those who join the Rescue Party commit to support Child Impact's rescue projects on a monthly basis. This monthly gift is a lifeline to these precious children. Join Child Impact as we rescue and protect children from forced child marriage, sexual exploitation, bonded servitude, abandonment, and abuse. Thank you for bringing hope to a child. I've wondered, is it possible to have an impact on an entire nation? We begin to see that happening here in Colombia with the work that Dalis is doing among Indigenous children. It has captured the attention and interest of the government and local police officials. As a result, she has been nominated as the top humanitarian in this region. And the president of the Supreme Court has actually visited this project. He is the number 3 ranking individual in the country of Colombia. Not only that, the police in this area, because of the influence of this project, have arrested over 100 child abusers. So we begin to see something happening here that has a broader impact on perhaps the entire country of Colombia in protecting especially these Indigenous children who are so vulnerable.
For example, some of the girls were living on the streets, begging. Other girls were in situations involving substance abuse or drug use. Other girls were victims of sexual exploitation. So these girls were basically in a situation of multiple violations of their rights. When the girls are here at the Tejiendo Sueños Foundation in the Amazon, what they are being protected from is exactly being in these different situations. In many Indigenous communities, these are figures who often have no voice at all, figures who are frequently not respected, and out of every 10 cases of violence reported in Colombia, a staggering 9 involve women. And not only that, but also, girls are also included within that particular group. The vast majority of women in these specific communities are completely dominated by various different factors, such as extreme and pervasive poverty. And that's precisely why many times young girls, unfortunately, don't have the crucial opportunity to experience other enriching things. I mean, it seems like all the girls have to go through that, being out on the street, sleeping on cardboard. And the people here aren't surprised anymore. It just becomes something normal. It's like that's happening and nobody does anything about it. So when the girls arrive here at the foundation, suddenly they realize, hey, that's not normal. I can have a much better life, a dignified life. I can have an opportunity. I can rebuild my broken dreams. And they start to say, wow. In reality, they were having a really hard time, and they start to form the idea that they can achieve things they maybe never even thought possible.
One story that really captured our attention was about a young girl who was recently rescued. She showed tremendous leadership ability, but she experienced a demonic attack. The other children in the home observed this and they were frightened. The teachers and leaders gathered around them and they began to earnestly pray that God would free her from this experience. They also began to sing songs. When that happened, 7 girls later recounted that they saw 2 angels flying over the home. Their faces were radiant and they showed 2 paths, one filled with light and one with darkness. All of the girls knew which path they wanted to choose for their lives. In Matthew 18, Jesus tells us that the children's angels observe the face of the Father continually. For these children here in this home, they were able to see that supernatural battle firsthand. That veil was open to them to see this, which many of us know that reality, but we've never been able to see it like these girls did firsthand. Without a doubt, the girls in this rescue home are among the most vulnerable anywhere in the world. And Satan has been attacking them all through their young lives. True freedom can only be found through knowing Jesus, and that is what is happening here. These girls are introduced to spiritual songs, and they love to pray. They earnestly pray, believing that Jesus hears them and will answer their prayers. It is so inspiring to see the spiritual environment that these girls have been introduced to, and how they now have freedom in Jesus from all of those things that they've been through in the past. They have now a hope for a bright future because Jesus has given them a new life. Maria was only 11 years old when her childhood was taken from her. Maria is the fourth of 6 sisters, each from a different father, born in the remote Guaviare region of Colombia among the Jew Indigenous people. From the time she could walk, Maria knew what it meant to be alone. Her mother worked as a prostitute and was often gone. Her fathers were all absent. The state labeled her as abandoned, shuffling her from shelter to shelter, but she never stayed. She ran from every place meant to protect her. And when she ran, no one came after her. Her case was marked unsolvable. The system closed her file, and the streets became her home. There she was exposed to begging, drugs, abuse, and exploitation. When she turned 14, Maria overheard other girls talking about a place called Weaving Dreams in the Amazon, a rescue home supported by Child Impact International, a place where girls like her were protected, heard, and loved. She begged her mother to take her there, and that is where her true healing began. At first, it was not easy. She fought the rules. She hated being told to shower, struggled with structure, and carried deep anxiety. Everyone worried she might tear the home apart. But no one yelled, no one gave up. They met her anger with quiet patience, her fear with unconditional love. And slowly, something beautiful began to break through. Daily devotionals and worship songs calmed her soul. There, in the presence of love, Maria met Jesus. For the first time in her life, she felt safe. She didn't run. The cycle was breaking.
One day, she began a beautiful process of transformation where she started to change. And at that very special, beautiful moment, suddenly her family came and out of selfishness took her away against her will.
When some girls said that those who left spoke badly about the foundation and said that here we were treated badly, mistreated, we didn't eat well, and that we were punished. My uncle came. He came on the motorcycle and told us to leave, but we don't want to.
She left crying, and I told her, before she left, I said, whenever you want, you can come back and I will welcome you, even if you come alone. And she took it seriously.
Even as her uncle dragged her away, Maria was already planning her escape. This time, she wouldn't be alone. She would take her sisters with her. Maria had felt freedom once. She had known love. She refused to be a prisoner of her family's cruelty. 3 days later, in the pre-dawn morning, she woke up with her cousin and 2 younger sisters. With no food or water, they set out on foot, driven by the dream of reaching the only place that had ever felt like home. They walked for hours in the blistering sun, drinking from muddy streams, exhausted but determined. When the younger girls could go no farther, Maria carried them on her back one by one, her arms aching but spirit unbroken. Late that afternoon, they reached the nearest town. Miraculously, Wilmer, the husband of Delise, spotted them from a distance. He leaped from his car and ran toward them. Like a father reunited with lost children, he wrapped his arms around them and wept. Overjoyed and relieved, he drove them to safety back at the rescue home. They were home.
And at this very moment, we can confidently say that Maria is one of the most successful and impactful experiences of this entire process. Because she is a girl who has become a leader, a good leader, a servant, a girl who has brought not only those girls, but who also brings in more girls. And when organizations come here, she tells them things that only a girl with the ability and wisdom that God has given her could say. This situation is not just mine. It belongs to many girls who are out on the street who need this whole process.
They're here now to this day. They've had now the legal paperwork signed so they can legally be here. But they're finding such joy and peace in this setting compared to the situation that they were living with before.
I feel that I am protected and that I am safe here. When I study, I believe I will get ahead and help the community, because that's what I want, because over there, everything is just suffering and evil. I want to be an engineer so I can diligently build safe and comfortable houses for many people, especially those in the community who unfortunately don't have a permanent home and are forced to wander the cold streets without shelter. And that's why I want to help those people who don't have a home.
Tejiendo sueños en la Amazonía means weaving dreams in the Amazon. And that's really what this rescue home is all about. It's about bringing kids who come from broken backgrounds and helping them create a new life.
One of the most important commitments of Tejiendo Sueños is that we respect the culture. We know that we are not the ones bringing Jesus to them. Jesus has always been with them. The only thing we do is try to find God's footprint in the communities and be able to make a connection and say, look, that same Jesus who has been with you, who has done this and that, that's the Jesus I'm here to talk to you about. We don't take away their weaving, nor their food, nor their language. We strengthen them. Girls have come here who had lost their language. Girls have come here who no longer used to weave, and now they weave. Girls have come here who no longer made cassava bread, farinha, and here they are making it. In other words, what was being lost out on the street, here in this place, they are recovering it. So the Weaving Dreams Foundation, what it's doing is allowing the girls to strengthen who they are with respect without taking anything away from them. For us, the partnership with Child Impact International is the key for us to continue sustaining, expanding, and projecting those dreams that have been broken for our girls in the Amazon. Because they have continued to believe in us, because they have kept working, because they have continued doing so many things, so that now we can keep growing, not just for Maria, but for more than 43 girls in this place who can continue to receive care 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, education, food, and everything a child needs to be able to build their dreams.
Greetings, friends. It is hard to believe that this project didn't even exist 2 years ago. It was a dream in the heart of Delise, and providentially we met her. She shared her vision, and we began the partnership that resulted in what you see here today. If you would like to help us to respond to God's providential leadings, I want to invite you to go to our website, childimpact.org, and select where needed most. Or you can call our office at 423-910-0667. Thank you for bringing hope to a child.